Hello students, I hope you all are fit and fine and doing very well in your studies. So let's start our today's science class. Today we are going to proceed again our chapter number 5, that is coal and petroleum. In our last video we had already discussed about coal, and in this video we are going to discuss about petroleum. So dear students, let's start our today's science class. Students, let's proceed our chapter number 5, that is coal and petroleum. In last video, we had discussed about coal and its formation. We also discussed about destructive distillation of coal. Now, in this video, we are going to discuss about petroleum and its formation. Dear students, about coal and petroleum, you just remember one thing. Coal and petroleum are sources of energy that are non-renewable. They were made in the nature a long time before So students, let's talk about petroleum. Petroleum is a dark colored thick crude oil found deep below the ground in certain areas. It has an unpleasant odor. The name petrol means rock oil. Petra means rock, oleum means oil. It is called petroleum because it is found deep under the crust of earth and trapped in rocks. Petroleum is not a single chemical compound. So, petroleum is a complex mixture of compounds known as hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons are compounds which are made up of only two elements, carbon and hydrogen. Petroleum is insoluble in water. Petroleum is a natural resource obtained from deep oil wells which are dug in certain areas of the earth. Just like coal, petroleum is also a fossil fuel. So, petroleum is also called crude oil or mineral oil. So, please you note down this, that petroleum is called crude oil or mineral oil. So students, let's talk about how petroleum was formed. Petroleum was formed by the decomposition of the remains of tiny plants and animals buried under the sea millions of years ago. It is believed that millions of years ago, the tiny plants and animals which lived in the sea died. Their dead bodies sank to the bottom of sea and were soon covered with mud and sand. Due to high pressure, heat, action of bacteria, and in the absence of air, the dead remains of tiny plants and animals were slowly converted into petroleum. The petroleum thus formed got trapped between two layers of impervious rocks, that is also called non-porous rocks, forming an oil deposit. So in this way, formation. So students, let's talk about occurrence and extraction of petroleum. Petroleum occurs deep under the surface of the earth between two layers of impervious rocks. Petroleum is lighter than water, so it floats over water. Petroleum oil deposits are usually found mixed with water, salt, and earth particles like sand, etc. Petroleum does not occur in all the places of earth. It is found in only certain areas of the earth. Natural gas occurs above the petroleum oil trapped under the rocks. Petroleum is extracted by drilling holes called oil wells in the earth crust, where the presence of oil has been predicted by survey. So student, now it is clear that petroleum and natural gas are found above the layer of water because petroleum and natural gas are lighter than water and do not mix with it. So students, The first oil well in the world was drilled in Pennsylvania, USA in 1859. The top producers of petroleum in the world are Saudi Arabia, Russia, Norway, Iran and United Arab Emirates, that is UAE. Oil in India is found in Assam, Gujarat and Mumbai High, Tamil Nadu, Kaveri basins, Tamil Nadu near Kaveri basins, and in the river basins of Godavari and Krishna. So students, let's talk about refining of petroleum. The crude petroleum oil is a complex mixture of solid, liquid and gaseous hydrocarbon. It is not very useful to us as such. So before petroleum can be used for specific purposes, it has to be refined. तो पेट्रोलियम जिस फॉर्म में हमें ऑब्टेंड होता है उसको हम क्रूड ऑयल कहते हैं. मतलब ये कि वो क्रूड ऑयल जो होता है इट इज़ अ मिक्सचर ऑफ सॉलिड, लिक्विड एंड अदर गैसियस हाइड्रोकार्बन्स. तो हम उसका उस फॉर्म में प्रॉपरली यूज़ नहीं कर सकते हैं. तो उसको यूज़ करने के लिए हमें पेट्रोलियम की रिफाइनिंग करनी पड़ती है. तभी हम पेट्रोलियम में जो और भी जो डिफरेंट फ्रैक्शंस होते हैं उनको हम रिफाइनिंग के थ्रू अलग कर पाते हैं. The process of separating crude petroleum oil into more useful fractions is called refining. The refining of petroleum is carried out in an oil refinery. The separation of petroleum into different fractions is done by the process of fractional distillation. And what is fractional distillation? Fractional distillation is a process in which fractions of petroleum having different boiling point ranges are collected separately. The various useful fractions obtained by the refining of petroleum are petroleum gas, petrol, kerosene, diesel, lubricating oil, paraffin wax and bitumen. So I hope you understand that fractional distillation is a process in which the fractions of petroleum having different boiling point ranges are collected separately. So students, मतलब कि जो भी फ्रैक्शंस होते हैं पेट्रोलियम में उन सब को बॉइलिंग पॉइंट के बेस पे अलग अलग चैम्बर्स में उन्हें कलेक्ट किया जाता है. So students, let's see the fractional distillation of crude oil in picture that is given on the screen. At the refinery, the crude oil mixture is fractionated into different components by fractional distillation. It is done in a fractionating tower. In this process, crude oil is heated to about 400 degrees Celsius in a furnace and the vapor is fed into the tower. तो फ्रैक्शनल डिस्टिलेशन में क्या होता है आपको पता ही है कि जो डिफरेंट फ्रैक्शंस होते हैं उनके बॉइलिंग पॉइंट के रेंज से उनको अलग अलग चैम्बर्स में कलेक्ट कर लिया जाता है. एंड आफ्टर दैट द क्रूड ऑयल इज़ हीटेड अबाउट 400 डिग्री सेल्सियस और फिर उसको 400 डिग्री सेल्सियस पे हीट किया जाता है फर्नेस के अंदर. एंड आफ्टर दैट वेपर इज़ फेड इनटू द टॉवर और फिर वो इट कन्वर्टेड in the form of vapor and that vapor is collected in towers. Light gases are the topmost fraction. So light gases are the topmost fraction means जो light gases होती हैं वो सबसे ऊपर मतलब कि जो फ्रैक्शनेटिंग टावर में सबसे ऊपर लाइट गैसेस होती हैं and that is followed by petrol and kerosene. Diesel is the heaviest. The other heavier fractions are not useful and are usually used to make asphalt to surface roads. So I hope refining of petroleum is clear to you. Students, let's know about petrochemicals. I already explained you about petrochemicals in lesson number 3 when we are reading synthetic fibers and plastics. I hope you remember. Many useful substances which are obtained from petroleum and natural gas are called petrochemicals. They are used in the manufacture of synthetic fibers like polyester, nylon, etc. Polythene, synthetic rubber, plastics, perfumes, dyes, drugs, explosives, etc. Due to its great commercial importance, petroleum is also called black gold. So remember this. So now students, let's talk about the various fractions of petroleum and their uses. And now it is clear to you that the useful substances obtained from petroleum and natural gas are called petrochemicals. Petrochemicals are used in the manufacture of detergents, polyester and nylon fibers, fertilizers, cosmetics, polythene and other man-made plastics. Now you can just see the table which is given on the screen. This table consists of various constituents of petroleum and their uses. So students, let's talk about petroleum gas. Petroleum gas is used as a fuel in home and industry. Petroleum gas is used as a fuel as such or in the form of liquefied petroleum gas, that is LPG. Petrol. Petrol is used as a fuel in light motor vehicles such as cars, motors and scooters. Petrol is also used as a solvent for dry cleaning. Kerosene. Kerosene is used as a fuel for stoves and lamps. A special grade of kerosene oil is used as an aviation fuel in jet aeroplanes. Diesel. Diesel is used as a fuel in heavy motor vehicles such as buses, trucks, tractors and diesel train engines. Diesel is also used to run pump sets for irrigation in agriculture and in electric generators to produce electricity on a small scale. Next we have lubricating oil. Lubricating oil is used for lubrication in machines and engines like car engines. So students, next we have paraffin wax. Paraffin wax is used for making candles, Vaseline, ointments, wax paper and grease. Next we have bitumen. Bitumen is also known as asphalt. Bitumen is used for road surfacing. It is also used for waterproofing the roofs of buildings. Bitumen is used in making black paints. So all these are the uses of different fractions of petroleum which we obtained after destructive distillation. So now students, please note that the fuels such as petroleum gas, petrol, kerosene and diesel are also fossil fuels because they are obtained from a major fossil fuels called petroleum. The most common fuel used in homes is liquefied petroleum gas. The petroleum gas which has been liquefied under pressure is called liquefied petroleum gas. The liquefied petroleum gas consists of mainly butane. Liquefied petroleum gas is a good fuel because of its following advantages. It burns easily. It means that LPG burns easily. आपके घर पे भी यूज़ होता होगा LPG, आपकी मदर किचन में यूज़ करती हैं फॉर कुकिंग पर्पस. तो आपने देखा ही होगा कि LPG burns easily. LPG has high calorific value. Due to this, a given amount of LPG produces a lot of heat. तो जिस फ्यूल की कैलोरीफिक वैल्यू जितना ज़्यादा होती है वो उतना अच्छा फ्यूल होता है. So LPG has a high calorific value. That's why a given amount of LPG produces a lot of heat. LPG burns with a smokeless flame and hence does not cause air pollution. So it is one of a great advantage. LPG does not produce any poisonous gases on burning. LPG does not leave behind any solid residue on burning. और LPG को जब हम जलाते हैं उस मतलब वो कोई रेसिड्यू भी, मतलब जलने के बाद कोई रेसिड्यू भी नहीं बचता है, मतलब कि इट डजेंट लीव एनी रेसिड्यू ऑन बर्निंग. सो दैट्स वाई LPG is a good source of fuel. So students, that's all for today's class. So students, now your homework is that you have to make neat and clean notes of coal and petroleum. Now the table which I taught you today in this video, which consists of different useful fractions of petroleum, you have to draw the same table in your science copy and you have to send me in group. So students, keep smiling, stay home, stay healthy, use mask and sanitizer and keep yourself free from infection. So that's all for today's class. Thanks for watching this video.